Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com. Tim Black. All right, people, how y'all doing? My name is Tim Black. Welcome to the Tim Black at Night Show. Hey, what's going on? How y'all feeling? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah, this thing getting crazy here. This is crazy. What's going on? How was your Thanksgiving? How you living? Everybody good? Everybody had a good time? You didn't argue too much with your family about Thanksgiving dinner, did you? Or about politics while you were eating Thanksgiving dinner? Start debating about, guns and the flag and kneeling and football and just anything. Like politics has a way of making the bird not taste so good. How many people didn't even have turkey for their Thanksgiving? You traitors, you're not patriotic. I'm joking, man. Do what you do, what you do, what you do, what you do. So I want to let everybody know, man, I'm feeling really great right now. I'm getting back into the swing. That's why I forced myself to do this show tonight, because some life-changing things happened for you, Brother Tim Black. I became a grandfather. Yeah. That's right, man. Just call me Pop Pop. Call me Pop Pop, y'all. Call me Pop Pop. Y'all see that gray up in here? Come on, man. Somebody say, Tim Black, you're too young to be a grandfather. What? You don't see this? I mean, I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. I appreciate it, but I earned this right here. I said I earned that. That's all me. That's wisdom. That's wisdom right there. So anyway, back to my granddaughter, man. My granddaughter's name is Nailani, and we call her Lala. Give it up for Nailani, Lala. And she came into the world it's only been 24 hours. She's 24 hours old, basically. She came in 8 pounds, 12 ounces. She's a big girl. My daughter Jasmine had her, just amazing, amazing, amazing. Now we have a full house, know what I'm saying? You thought the house was full before. We now have a really full house. They'll be home tomorrow, so we're getting prepped to have a new baby in the house. And we just got a new puppy. Well, we've had the puppy for about a month now, so we got puppy, and now we got a new baby coming home. So we got it all, man. What can I tell you guys? I'm excited. This is great. This is great. Now, for the record, y'all, this is my second grandchild, right? This is my daughter Jasmine's second child. Her first child is Naomi. Naomi is 6. So Naomi, she's been living here with us as well. But that didn't feel real to me. You know what I'm saying? It just didn't. I was too young. I was like, I wasn't ready. But this is time, y'all. So anyway, guys, thank you for everybody who gave me best wishes, sent me a lot of love to the family and everything. Thank you so much, guys, for caring about my family and reaching out and sending your best and all that good stuff. You know what you did, guys. I don't want to hit the applause button again, but just know I really appreciate you guys. And, it puts a lot in perspective. And, all right. I didn't just come on here to talk about, that baby thing. I came also to talk to you about what's going on in our world, because we all know there's a lot going on in the world. So let's get to some of that, shall we? Get to a couple of news clips items that I thought were worthy of breaking out the old microphone for, guys. We might as well start with the migrant caravan, because the migrant caravan has been a very popular topic amongst the left and the right. We know we've been hearing the conversation, been hearing the debates about the migrants coming from Tijuana, various parts of Guatemala, coming through Tijuana, Guatemala, coming from various parts of Central America and Mexico, and they were going to come here to America, and that they were going to be coming here to take over, and to barge in our country, to take over and just kick down the door like Biggie Smalls, and that this was going to be an infiltration. And a lot of people have been concerned about it for a number of reasons. Donald Trump talked about it, and so have a lot of the commentators. Well, that conversation about the caravan coming, the migrant caravan, we've been hearing about that for months, and finally it's here. And here goes a picture of one of the images, one of the most famous images about the caravan. As you can see here, this was the one that's really caught the eye and the attention of so many people regarding the caravan. And I just want to say, you know, it's been very interesting the way this has been playing out in our media about the caravan. Now here, let's try it this way, okay? Because as you can see in this picture, you have a mom. You have a mom and you have two children. I'm kind of in your way now, but I think you just saw it. A mom and the two children. Let me scoot over. A mom and the two children here, sort of fleeing. Damn it, I'm all in the way. From the children, from the tear gas, right? So there's tear gas has been deployed. Tear gas has been deployed, and we know why, right? Here's some people in the caravan that weren't so nice. Some people in the caravan weren't so nice. So the debate has been, how do you deal with this situation? The debate has been, what does this mean for America? Meanwhile, Donald Trump saying, well, we need to keep safety. We need to be safe. We need to make sure the people that come into the country deserve to be in the country. We need to halt all people coming into the country. We don't need to process them immediately. And then we have people on the left saying that we need to process them immediately. This is a humanitarian crisis. People are coming here for a reason. We got this statue called the Statue of Liberty that tells the world, come to America. And now that people come into America, you say, no, not you. We want some people from Sweden. Can we get some people from Denmark? We don't want. So this has been a debate. Also, in regards to the caravan, once there was an uproar at the border in Tijuana, that's the picture that you see here. That's when they deployed the use of gas canteens or gas grenades, tear gas grenades. That's what it's called. I want to get the exact terminology on this because there's been debate about what type of tear gas was used, who was it used on, and why this mom and her kids are also being tear gassed. And here we go. Now, according to Fox News, now this is how they report it, and it's important to look at both sides of this issue. A group of Central American migrants camped at the U.S.-Mexico border said Tuesday who said that they were victims of American repression. They said they experienced this by border patrol agents who launched tear gas over the weekend at a crowd that included angry rock throwers and crying children. And now here goes a quote from one of the migrants who were saying that they were attacked for no reason. They said, "We were only walking to the border checkpoint so that we could be visible, so that they would recognize that we are a large group of people who just want to be heard so the international law can protect us as we migrate and seek to improve our lives." The group, calling itself Central American Exodus for Life, said in an English language statement. And it goes on to say that the showdown at the San Diego-Tijuana border crossing has thrown into sharp relief two competing narratives about the caravan of migrants who've aimed to apply for asylum but have gotten stuck on the Mexico side of the border. So one side of this is the migrants are saying that that yes, there's some people that are obviously throwing rocks. There's some people that are obviously trying to, breach the fence or breach any type of structure to reach United States soil. But that's not everybody. And those people are mixed in. And when you tear gas one, like tear gas is not a projectile like an aimed. You can't aim tear gas. If you shoot tear gas in this room right now, everybody gets tear gas. Okay, so tear gas is not something that you can pinpoint who you're going to hit with tear gas. Okay, so this has been one of the complaints of the migrants. And they say, well, hey, look, we came to seek asylum. These other people are doing this, and we're being hurt along the way. Now, this is a report from CNN. Like I told you, we're going to look at both sides of this issue. Migrants may have to wait up to 6 weeks at border to claim asylum. Okay, so members of the migrant caravan traveling through Mexico may have to wait up to 6 weeks at the border to seek asylum. Upon the caravan's arrival, by virtue of the folks that they are, again, here already lawfully presenting themselves, we estimate that the first arrivals of the caravan will get processed in about 5 or 6 weeks of presenting themselves there. Customs and Border Protection Deputy Commissioner Robert Perez told CNN. Tensions on the border have been running high following the group's extensive trek to the U.S., with President Donald Trump citing incidents over the weekend as part of the desire for Congress to fund a border wall. Okay, so once again, Donald Trump talking about the border wall, talking about the need to control people into the United States. And really what this all comes down to at this point is how quickly can we deal with the people that are coming or seeking asylum. And now that's pretty much their part of it as far as these two articles. What I'd like to do now, guys, is I'd like to inject a little bit of reality. Okay? So bear with me. Let me get a little coffee. I got to interject some stuff here. All right, so if you're just now tuning in, my name is Tim Black. This is the Tim Black and Night Show. I'm not here to peddle you, to fill you with platitudes, to fill you with BS regarding either of these parties. I'm also not here to push you towards any political party, okay? We try to make sense out of the senseless. Why are we acting as if this is the first time people have ever tried to come to America? Why are we acting as if the border has never had any tense moments? I'll tell you why, folks. See, if you were new, or if you just looked up from your life of doing whatever you do, I'm sure there are things you do every day, right? Your job, or taking care of your kids, or whatever line of work, whatever keeps you busy during the day, and you don't have time to pay attention to these types of stories, let me just let you know that this is not new. Nothing that's going on now is new. It's just that before, it wasn't being reported. Obama had to use tear gas at the border before. Several times, particularly in his later months, towards the end of his term. He used a lot of tear gas. He also did a lot of deportations. I'm not saying that Donald Trump isn't deporting more. He's deporting at a higher clip at this moment. He is. But this is not new. What we're seeing is not new. Donald Trump wants you to see it because Donald Trump wants to use it to fund his border wall. Something that he promised that he would try to get done. Something that he said was a platform plank in his campaign. Border wall. Remember that? Build a wall. Build a wall. Hillary Clinton called it a structure. Trump called it a wall. Okay? It's not really new. What's new is the way it's used politically in order to rile up votes. That's not to say it's good or bad. We haven't got to it's good or bad yet. What we're talking about is the knee-jerk reaction to try to scare the hell out of people or to influence voting or to win their base or to elicit donations. Because, see, a population of people or viewers who are frantic or emotional tend to give more money. There is nothing new about caravans of migrants coming to the border. There's nothing new about America having to tell them to cool their heels as we develop a way to deal with it or to vet or to analyze, to investigate, to sit down, have those conversations, fill out the proper paperwork, whatever. This is regular policy in the United States. What pisses me off, and I hope it's going to piss some of you off because I don't want to be angry by myself, is that I feel like I'm being lied to whenever I watch mainstream media and they leave this out. Trump act like he never seen it, that there's never been people who are seeking asylum coming together at one time to our border, and the left acting as if they always treat the people that come to the border so nice. See, I'm not happy with either one of the narratives that's being projected because neither one of the narratives are real. That's what I'm trying to get to. Neither one of them are real. Neither one are honest. Okay? Donald Trump focused on this caravan well before it was time for the caravan to even arrive at the border, the Mexican border, the U.S. or Mexican border, because it was helpful to his votes. In fact, I don't think without this issue that Trump may have even kept the Senate. I think that it was very instrumental in the amount of votes in the midterm elections that Donald Trump strategically used the caravan, fear of the caravan, as a talking point in order to help Republicans who were seeking re-election or fending off Democratic challengers in their races. This is what I believe, okay? All right. And according to the document, now I want to go back real quick about the Obama piece, okay? I'm not saying that everything that Donald Trump does is what Obama did. I'm not saying that. Okay, it's true. Tear gas was used once a month at the border under Obama, okay? This is according to the Washington Times. Now, the Washington Times is a right-leaning newspaper, but doesn't mean it's lying. Doesn't mean it's lying. The same tear gas agent that Donald Trump is using, the same tear gas agent. It's not a different agent. Okay? So Trump, I also heard earlier today that Donald Trump, he made it seem like there was a lesser agent, a nicer tear gas agent that the children and the moms would use against them than was used against the angry men that were trying to cross the border. When in reality, it's the same tear gas agent. There are not a lot of different flavors of tear gas agents. So you're like one, okay? So what I'm trying to get you to understand, what I'm hoping that I'm conveying, is that once again we're being lied to, or we're being gaslight. They're lighting the gas under you. They're lighting the gas under you. They're trying to get you excited, okay? All right. Which brings me to a conversation that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez had on Twitter. And it's really not a conversation. It's more like a back and forth that occurred on Twitter. Okay? All right. Lord. Okay, so here goes a conversation here that happened on Twitter that I thought was interesting. Now, we know Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's the House of Representatives. She made it into Congress. Was it the 14th district or the 13th district? Out there in Brooklyn, New York. She's a Democratic Socialist. She won her election. One of the youngest, if not the youngest. Is she the youngest member of Congress? Okay. A lot of conversation about her because she defeated a very establishment Democrat. Okay? People need to understand what they're dealing with. And when I say people, I mean people like Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham walked into a buzzsaw because I don't think Lindsey Graham really understands how to use social media. Not really that savvy, you know. And I don't blame him. I don't blame Lindsey Graham, you know. You know, maybe Lindsey Graham is not that up on the way that the media or the way that social media kind of functions. Because what he did was kind of jump into a conversation where Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was talking about the border wall and kind of got himself embarrassed. And now this happens, guys, because Lindsey Graham and many others just think, well, you know, Alexandria is young, so we can just take advantage of her. We can just make her look badly. And, you know, we're older, we're more seasoned. We'll be able to do this without any problem. Problem is, like I stated, they don't always know how to use social media the same way. as Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Here goes the comment that was made that kind of brought me to this opinion, okay? So we'll remove the migrant, and it's on the same topic of the migrants, right? So here we go. Here we go, guys. That's the same comment, or should I say the same picture. Damn it, the same picture that we talked about earlier. It's been getting a lot of play. Okay, so this is the post that Alexandria Ocasio saw and that she was responding to. NBC News put it out. A migrant family, part of a caravan of thousands traveling from Central America en route to the U.S., runs away from tear gas in front of the U.S.-Mexico border wall in Tijuana. Okay, and there's the same picture of the mother and the two children and the tear gas behind them. This is, a horrible picture. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see moms and kids getting tear gassed. Moms and kids, it look like mom and the babies are throwing rocks. I don't see any rocks in their hands, okay? Okay, so here's the comment that Ocasio made. She said this. Ocasio-Cortez says, what if instead of sending 5,000 troops to the border, we had sent 5,000 caseworkers to review and process the visa applications? In addition to averting moral crisis, it also would have saved enormous amounts of resources. But we don't want to talk about the financial recklessness of GOP admins, do we? And you know what? I'm going to give that a clap. I'm going to give that a clap. And I'm giving that a clap because, first of all, it makes sense. It just makes sense. It's a great comment. Now, you may not agree with the comment, Lindsey Graham. It may not sit well with you, but it's a thought. Like, okay, so if the people are coming here to be processed for asylum, maybe we should be more concerned with getting that process done. Get them in, get them out. Get them in, let them in. Get them in, you approved, or this, okay, we need to find out, this looks good, let's process the people. That's the whole purpose of it. Unless we're so busy demonizing the people that are seeking asylum, right? Or we think that, we're so afraid that they're going to be so dangerous that we can't do that. That our focus is on simply containing and locking down the area instead of looking at these people like these people need help. So I think the narrative that these people are breaking the law and these people are dangerous makes a lot of people not even make this correlation that maybe we need to speed up the process of vetting the people. That's the easiest way to get through this issue. So like I said before, it's not like if you agree or if you disagree, you got to admit it's kind of a great, well, let's not say great. It's a different approach. It's a different viewpoint, and one that you should consider or could be considered by rational people who are looking for solutions to a problem. Okay, so that was her first comment. Let's see what happened after that. Okay. Now, various comments came in, and Alexandria Ocasio said this. She says, asking to be considered a refugee and applying for status isn't a crime. It wasn't for Jewish families fleeing Germany. It wasn't for targeted families fleeing Rwanda. It wasn't for communities fleeing war-torn Syria. And it isn't for those fleeing violence in Central America. Now, that sounds good. That does sound good. What she just said, I have no way of knowing if how we treated, how people from Syria were treated or how people from Rwanda were treated. I know that Jewish refugees who were fleeing Nazi Germany, I know that we turned around a couple of boats, didn't we? But we don't want to get into that, do we? We don't want to get in there. It's very, America didn't want to talk about the fact that we did turn away some folks when they came here. But that's not the point she's trying to make. She's trying to make the point that if you look at people like they need help, it's a whole different idea. It's a whole different way that you treat those people when you see them as people in need, as in opposed to people in greed or people doing bad deeds. Get it? All right. So this is where Lindsey Graham decides to get involved. Okay. Here's the comment. Now, Lindsey Graham sees this comment. He says, "I got to respond," and he responds like this. He says, "I recommend you take a tour of the Holocaust Museum in D.C. Might help her better understand the differences between the Holocaust and the caravan in Tijuana." Now here, guys, I would give this a clap if it made any sense. I can't give this comment a clap, Lindsey Graham, because it doesn't make sense, and you're totally missing the point. See, it's all about the plight of the people that are making the trip. If you believe the people that are making the trip are living in adverse conditions, situations that are untenable, situations that are humanitarian crisis, look, to Lindsey Graham, it may not seem that dire, but some of these people that are fleeing and trying to enter the U.S. are fleeing gang violence where people are killed. They are fleeing oppression and murder and mayhem and poverty. So if those people are fleeing that, it may not be that important to you, but I'm pretty sure it's important to those people that are fleeing it. I don't think that Ocasio was trying to say that it's the same. I don't think it's the same. I don't know enough about the actual conditions of all the Central American countries that people are leaving. But I just got to imagine it can't be that great. Because this caravan is not some air-conditioned bus, limo bus, with a bathroom. I mean, people are walking, people are limping, people are scrambling. Like, this is a very difficult trek across multiple countries. It's not a luxurious trip of privilege. Okay, so people who are willing to do that are doing that for a reason, and it's all about what you think about those people. So anyway, Lindsey Graham, I can't apply what doesn't make sense. So anyway, here goes the response to Lindsey Graham's comment. Okay. And Alexandra, she said, Miss Cortez said, "And Lindsey Graham, the point of such a treasured museum is to bring us lessons to the present day. This administration has jailed children and violated human rights. Perhaps we should stop pretending that authoritarianism, I can't even talk, authoritarianism, tyrannism, and violence is a historical event instead of a growing force." All right. So, yeah, maybe this is something that Lindsey Graham want to reflect on. Maybe he want to consider his own statements. Maybe he would want to take it back what he said. Maybe Lindsey Graham felt maybe some remorse for jumping down her throat and saying, visit the museum and get it right. Well, whether he felt that way or not after making this comment and after Ms. Cortez's response, perhaps the response from someone from the actual Auschwitz Memorial Museum, maybe that might influence him. Yeah. It would really suck if someone from that Memorial Museum chimed in on Twitter in front of the whole world and kind of shut it down. Yeah, that happened. This is what was said. God, man. It don't get no better. Auschwitz Memorial said, "When we look at Auschwitz, we see the end of the process. It's important to remember that the Holocaust actually did not start from gas chambers. This hatred gradually developed from words, stereotypes, and prejudice through legal exclusion, dehumanization, and escalating violence." Yeah, guys, that's what you call getting the strap. Yeah, people from Auschwitz Memorial Museum, they went and got the strap on Lindsey Graham. See, and it's sort of like my whole point. And as raspy as I am, my throat is bothering me, I know you can tell. The whole point of what I was saying earlier about, it's all about how you see the people that are seeking the help. You know, if you see the people that are seeking help, first of all, if you see them as seeking help, you treat them differently. You know? Same thing, I mean, it applies in all walks of life. I mean, recently there was a junior high school kid who walked to someone's door. He was new to the neighborhood and he had missed the bus. He was walking to school and he got lost and he stopped at someone's home to kind of get directions. And they thought he was trying to break in because he was a black kid stopping at the door. Now, if you thought the kid was trying to break in, your reaction would be totally different than if you thought they were someone actually looking for, you know, directions. In the case of the kid, well, the owner ran in the house, got his shotgun, and shot at the kid. Luckily, he did not hit the child. The child escaped. He was unharmed. But that never would have happened if the owner of that home would have thought, hey, this kid might actually need help. The same thing holds true for the caravan migrants. If not only Donald Trump, but if all Americans saw those people as people needing help, maybe we look at things a little bit differently. Or if we give people the benefit of the doubt and say, well, you know what, maybe they need help, right? Maybe we treat them more humanely. Oh, just something to think about. I'm not one of those people that just says, hey, you know, let's put all these people in this bucket or put all these people in that bucket. But I am about hearing people out to make sure when we do actually make a judgment, we make that judgment based in reality, not based in bigotry or even based in fear. Because everything doesn't have to be bigotry. It can be fear. It can be ignorance. All right. Yep. All right, so that's not the only thing that happened. That's not the only thing that happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot's happened, but yeah, you know, that's not the only thing that happened. What else do we got here tonight? Well, we have General Motors. We got General Motors, guys. Check this out. General Motors, Lord, they kind of pissed some people off. They pissed Donald Trump off. Why are people pissed off with General Motors? Why is Trump hating General Motors right now? Well, this is pretty simple. All right. General Motors. Now, we all know that President Obama, he helped General Motors out, man. Obama gave money to help General Motors keep from going under. And it wasn't just General Motors, it was Ford. You know, like American automotive dealers were going down. This was around 2008 when Obama came in office. He had to make a decision. Am I going to help the automotive dealers or retailers or manufacturers? Am I going to help the manufacturers? I'm going to help them stay in business, or are we going to watch our automotive industry go bye-bye? And Obama decided, hey, we got to help these guys. Now, this is something that Donald Trump and Obama actually agree on. Trump agrees that you should have helped them, that Obama should have helped them. And obviously, you know, the left and the right agree on that. Here's the thing. Well, GM is a business. And after they received the help that they needed to stay solvent or stay in business, they're now looking to stay more in business. And they're looking more to, make more profits. Now, in order for them to make more profits, they decided, in order to do that, they needed to cut jobs. About 1,400 of them. Yeah, about 1,400 jobs. Holiday season layoffs from GM. Trump very disappointed with GM after plant closures. This is bad. Almost 15% of its salaried North American workforce will be laid off. President Trump lambasted General Motors in a tweet on Tuesday, just one day after the auto manufacturer announced that it was cutting 15% of its North American workforce, halting production at several plants, and their shares slipped over 2%. Here's what Donald Trump said. He said in his tweet, "I'm very disappointed with General Motors and its CEO, Mary Barra, for closing plants in Ohio, Michigan, and Maryland." That's where I live. I live in Maryland. Nothing being closed in Mexico and China. The U.S. saved General Motors, and this is the thanks we get. Yeah. Now, I agree with Trump on that. Hey, he's right. We saved General Motors, and this is the kind of thanks we get. Yeah. You know, I took you in when you needed a place to stay, and you robbed from me, you steal from me, you know? But see, here's the thing where I disagree with Trump. And I'm not saying he's not wrong, but let's keep it real, Trump. Let's keep it 100, right? Donald Trump knows if that was him, he'd do the same thing. See, part of my thing with a lot of people who criticize Donald Trump, particularly the whole Russia investigation, is they forget that Donald Trump was a businessman who looked for loopholes, just like most business people do at that level. Okay? That's what Donald Trump did. That's how he ran his business. In fact, that's what I always thought the Russia investigation would uncover, is that Donald Trump is a businessman who does business the way majority of rich people do business. Okay? Donald Trump knows damn well that if the shoe was on the other foot and he was not President Donald Trump, he would be more concerned with making sure his shareholders got reimbursed, or making sure his stock went up, or making sure his company thrived, than he would be concerned with the average worker. Now, don't get me wrong, I get that Donald Trump is now President Trump, and he must be concerned with people, but I'm just saying, let's be a little bit more genuine. He would not be concerned with employees over his own dividends, his own stock dividends. So I don't agree with General Motors at all. I do think they're doing this not necessarily to take advantage or to take a dump on workers. I do think they're doing it for a reason that's strategic for them. But this is the reason why. This is why we have to hold corporations accountable, because at the end of the day, they're not there for workers. They're there for their own earnings. They're there for their own profits. They're there for their own shareholders. That's what business is. So we have to always keep that in mind. Now, Donald Trump is talking about cutting subsidies for GM, right? Cutting subsidies because, well, hell, if GM is going to move its people or shut down locations of manufacturing across the country now that we've gotten them on their feet, so to speak, well, then maybe they don't need subsidies from us, which is big tax breaks. Maybe we take away some of those incentives. Now, doing that will undermine what Obama did initially and what Trump agreed with, which was help make sure GM sticks around. So what I'll do, guys, is I'll keep my eye on this story and update you as it becomes more news on it. It's a difficult situation. I need to know just how much GM needs to make these changes. Is it to stay in business, or is it basically just to pad the profit margins? If it's to pad profit margins, then we're against it. Screw them, right? But if it's to stay in business, if it's what needs to be done, then that's a whole different story. All right, guys. So, now this is where I tell you, guys, that this show is not brought to you by the DNC or the GOP. It's brought to you by people like you who just want the news in a different way. They're tired of people telling them stuff because they want them to vote a certain way, or because they got sponsorships, people paying them to talk to you a certain way and to give you one side of the story. We try to give you all sides of the story here on the Tim Black TV, TBTV, Take Back Television, TBTV, and that's our goal. So if you value this type of news broadcast, if it's interesting to you, all I'm saying is become a member of the show. It's real easy to do. Go to patreon.com, Tim's Take Live. You can contact me and say, hey, Tim, look at this story. This is an important story to me. Hope you think it's important. And if we think we can, we will cover that story. We cover all types of news on this channel. You contact me directly at tim@timblacktv.com. All right. News for people who can't stand the news. All right, guys, now, there's been a lot of conversation about Mississippi. And for all I know, the results may have came in. See, Mississippi is the place where there's a Senate race. A Senate race between someone who was chosen. Someone who was chosen by the governor there to take the place of a senator who had to retire because of health reasons. That person's name is Cindy Hyde-Smith. It's also a race between Cindy Hyde-Smith and Mike Espy. Mike Espy hasn't been in politics the last 20 years. Before that, he was a Democrat. He was a member of Congress. He also was an assistant attorney or assistant secretary of state, assistant secretary, and he'd done a lot of work in Mississippi. Born in Mississippi, lives in Mississippi. Both people live in Mississippi. Now, the thing about this race that became so interesting is that Mississippi is a very red state, meaning it's really Republican. Like that's how they get down. That's what Mississippi is. But lately, it's been in the news because this race has really drew a lot of attention because of comments made by Cindy Hyde-Smith. Now, whether she intended it to or not, she made some comments that really pissed a lot of people off. Now, I can never determine what somebody's heart is, but I can sure determine what their mouth says. And what Cindy Hyde-Smith said was that, hey, she was at a rally and the guy there was like, hey, I'm glad you can make it. And she said, I'd do anything for you. Hey, if you invited me to a public hanging, I'd be there and I'd be in the front row. And a lot of people got upset by that comment because it's Mississippi. It's the lynching capital of the United States. And a lot of people in Mississippi want to get away from that type of stuff. It's not just us people from the coastal cities in L.A. or New York or wherever you're from. It's not just those people who are pissed off about it. There are people in Mississippi who didn't like it. Like they don't want to even be, have their name associated with any type of, racial violence or whatever. They want to move past that. And then we got Cindy Hyde-Smith making a dumb comment or either a racist comment for no reason. They don't see how it helped her. Okay? So a lot of people don't want to let that go because they think that Cindy Hyde-Smith is part of the old guard. Not to mention they saw a picture of Cindy Hyde-Smith wearing a Confederate outfit with a Confederate gun and, basically, saying those were the good old days or whatever. I don't know what she was doing. I don't know why she was wearing a Confederate outfit with a Confederate flag. I don't understand. I don't understand why you think in 2018 that's a good look. So anyway, guys, it's Mississippi. Some people say, Tim, it's Mississippi. Well, a lot of people have been talking about this historic race because if Mike Espy wins, he will become the first black senator from Mississippi since Restoration, right? Which is at least 100 years, right? Yeah, at least 100 years. All right, so here goes some people talking about it, having a conversation about the race that should be called, if not now, it's already been called. But here goes conversation, okay? So we have a couple of shows where they talked about it. Here go your friends on The View talking about the race.
National attention over accusations of racism against Republican candidate Cindy Hyde-Smith. First, she told her supporters she'd be in the front row at a public hanging if they invited her. And apparently in 2014, social media posts had surfaced of her at a Confederate President Jefferson Davis's home, holding Confederate soldiers' weapons and calling it Mississippi history at its best. And here's what you know who said before stumping for her last night. Take a look.
I know her, and I know she apologized and she misspoke, but I will tell you this. I've known her for a period of time now as a senator. She's been an excellent senator. She's done a great job. She's somebody that's respected in the Senate. And I'm going there. I'm going to make, I guess, 2 rallies on top of everything else.
Spare me. Now, they say she's ahead by 10 points in the polls leading up to today's runoff. So what's the message being sent?
Well, she's a Trump candidate. She's really a Trump clone because he won Mississippi by 17 points. And she went around the state in a bus that was called she called the MAGA wagon, which had a photo of her and a photo of Trump on it. But I think what this race has done is it's brought back to the surface so many deep and real and raw emotions that still exist when it comes to race and still the problems that this country faces. In particular, and I haven't lived in Mississippi, and I'm not an expert in Mississippi history, but clearly that still exists in that state.
Mississippi was ranked the #1 least healthy state by the United Health Foundation, and this Hyde-Smith woman is trying to repeal Obamacare, and yet people are going to vote for her against their own interests.
Well, can I say one thing? The Democrat running against her is not great. He received $750,000 for lobbying for Ivory Coast dictator Laurent Gbagbo's government in 2011.
And then what did he
huge
do?
Human rights violator.
What did he do after that, after it was pointed out?
It says that, I don't know, I think taking $750,000 from a dictator is bad.
He found that out, and this was reported, so I don't know. But I'm told he returned that money and made the CIA aware of the fact that this had happened.
If I were a voter, it would bother, both things bother me.
Yeah,
What she did bothers me, what he does bothers me.
Understandably.
What's interesting of the politics of this is that this should be a slam dunk for Republicans because it's a state that Trump won by 18 points, and much like my home state of Arizona, there are even demographic shifts happening in Mississippi as well. And as you said, 46th in education, 50th in healthcare, 49th in infrastructure, 48th in the economy. This is a state that needs a lot of help from a lot of people, and neither of these candidates, in my opinion, come up to the level that it should.
Well, they certainly don't need her there.
Well, that's the problem that I have with it, because Mississippi is the last state that still has the Confederate flag on its flag. It's the last. It passed a law, in 2017, I believe, that said you can't move any of the monuments because it's an ode to our history. So I feel that this candidate, Hyde-Smith, and especially Trump stumping for her, either they're ignorant of the history and the hurt of Mississippi's lynchings,
maybe they don't care,
or they don't care, and the Republicans lost African Americans by an 81-point percentage during the midterm elections. And so you would think that they would be more cognizant of the real pain that people of color have when you see a candidate talking about public lynchings, hangings, when you see a candidate that went to a segregated school and intentionally and sent her daughter to a segregated school, when you see a candidate who talks about the Confederacy as the best part of American history, and you have all of these corporations that are now pulling their donations from her, like Google, like Union Pacific, Boston Scientific, the MLB. Why were they donating to begin with? So
she has a history of this.
This is not new.
But my question is, why is this candidate even viable?
Sonny, it's a good question.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
One of the things that you should be aware of
2001, when they voted to keep the flag.
I don't even know if is this thing even playing?
In Mississippi.
Oh, yeah, it's playing. Okay. So you know what? I'm going to leave it there, guys. That's so much. Like, they talk about this on and on and on and on, okay, about this race, about Cindy Hyde-Smith. And, like, my thing about this is it's Mississippi. I don't think people are really shocked by her statement in Mississippi. They may not like it, but they're not shocked by it, okay? A lot of people are trying to distance themselves, as you can see from what I think it was Cindy McCain was pointing out, or was it Sonny? Sonny was saying a lot of companies have pulled their donations from Cindy Hyde-Smith because it was an embarrassment. But make no mistake about it, Cindy was elaborating, or she was saying, This is not new. Her positions on issues have always been her positions on issues. She's not new. So anyone who took any time to take a look at really what Cindy Hyde-Smith stood for, they would have already known before they gave her money. What it is now is that when she said this thing out loud, it embarrassed people, and it doesn't look good for their brains. So that's why they pulled it. This is reality, guys. You know, let's just keep it real. You know, why are we acting like, you know, this woman, you know, in fact, Cindy Hyde-Smith was a Democrat just as late as 2012, something like that. Like, Cindy Hyde-Smith was a Democrat. So I'm not saying she's better. All right, so that's one thing. So people acting shocked, like they don't know that there's racism in Mississippi. Yeah, they know. If you live in Mississippi, you know it. Number two, these people that gave money to Cindy Hyde-Smith, they knew what type of person she was. Okay, that's another thing. Another thing, I'm for better Medicare. I'm for Medicare for all, right? I'm for Medicare for all. I think that we should have a system where everybody in the U.S. is covered. I don't understand how they can do it in Europe, different places in Europe. Europe's a continent, Tim. How they can do it in Switzerland, how they can do it in Sweden, how they can do it in Germany, but we can't get it done in America. That pisses me off. I'm upset by that. It don't make sense to me. We pay a lot of taxes too. We are the richest country in the history of countries, but we can't make sure all our people have medical coverage. We should be able to make sure that everybody's able to see a doctor in America, okay? That's how I feel about that. That's how I feel, guys. But Obamacare is not the greatest. I said Obamacare is not the greatest. So stop acting like Obamacare is the greatest. It needs all types of help, all types of work. In fact, Obamacare, people like it. Some people like it because they got Obama's name on it. It was some shit that Mitt Romney had. And then they put the Obama name on it and put it out there. That was a sellout to use Obamacare. That package was not a great package. It's not the package that was needed for this country. But yes, it's true. Cindy Hyde-Smith wants to get rid of it. I don't see where she wants to make it better or replace it with some system that takes care of everybody. It's just that it costs too much. Okay, so I agree. Obamacare does cost too much. I agree. It doesn't have enough people in it. It's not a universal package, so I don't like it. But I do not agree that we need to act like this is the greatest thing in the world. It's not, okay? Cindy Hyde-Smith, I don't agree with her in repealing something because that's what she wanted to do, is repeal it and get rid of it, but she didn't want to replace it with universal. Okay, so as much as I just want to make it clear that I think everybody should have health care. People who say, oh, that's crazy, we'll never be able to afford it, you don't realize people die every day because of lack of health care in this country. And if you're an American, you pay your taxes, right? I don't think you should die for that reason. Okay? Now, that's just how I feel, okay? Now, if you disagree with me on that, that's fine. I want you to know where I stand. All right. Now, having said all those things, The View had their say. There's another clip here about Trump campaigning for.
Be opposed to Justice Kavanaugh. SB will vote in total lock.
Here we go.
He's far left opponent. He's far left. Oh, he's out there. How does he fit in with Mississippi?
Well, you know what? Let me make sure people understand this clip. Okay, so some people are saying that the allegation is that Donald Trump, in this clip, at this rally in Mississippi for Cindy Hyde-Smith, that Donald Trump used a racist dog whistle. That Donald Trump, what he said was racist, and he was trying to tell people, hey, you can't vote for Mike Espy because he's a black guy. All right, so I want to play the clip, and then we're going to talk about the clip as it pertains to the race in Mississippi. All right, here goes the clip. Now that you know, here goes the clip. All right, get me out of here. Let's do Trump.
Cindy's far left opponent. He's far left. Oh, he's out there. How does he fit in with Mississippi? And I could go over this. How does he fit in? Mike Espy opposed to Justice Kavanaugh. SB will vote in total lockstep with Schumer, Pelosi, the legendary Maxine Waters, and the special interest bankrolling his campaign. SB supported one of the largest tax increases in American history, you know that. He co-sponsored legislation that provides late-term abortion on demand, you know that. He backed a total government takeover of health care, and he even sponsored legislation to provide free taxpayer-funded health care to illegal aliens, which I'm sure you love paying for. Mike Espy would rather protect illegal aliens than the people that live in Mississippi and Mississippi workers. It just can't work that way. You know, we want to be nice, and we all have a big heart, but it can't work that way because it doesn't work.
All right, so now this, all right, guys, check this out now. These people are on some BS. I'm trying to watch my language because they're really flagging my channel lately. All right? Let's keep it PG-13, all right? This is BS, people. It's BS. Okay, so Donald Trump, he was saying that Mike Espy's to the left. That's what he was saying, that he's left, that he wants Medicare, and he's pro-choice. He ran down a list of things that he felt that Mike Espy supports. And he says, how can he fit in with Mississippi, with these types of ideology? Now, it wasn't because of race, and the reason why I say it wasn't race is because Mississippi is almost 40% black. Mississippi is one of the blackest states in the country. Now, the people that vote for Cindy may be mostly white. Cindy Hyde-Smith, but make no mistake about it, to say that, I don't think he was saying, I really do not believe that you could say that he doesn't fit into a state that he was born into because of color. No, I believe that Trump was saying that Mike Espy doesn't fit in because Mike Espy is a Democrat in a red state, running a race against a very red, a person now, well, actually, Cindy Hyde-Smith is a fake Republican conservative who was formerly a Democrat, just like I said a few years ago. So, but this is a red state. See, this is one of the things that I hate about media. One of the reasons why I'm in this business, guys, is because I want to tell you the truth. And I know some people don't want to hear it. All right? They want me to just say, oh, Trump's racist. He's racist, racist, racist. Yeah, I don't know. He could be. But this comment right here, this comment, I don't think it was racist. I don't think it was a dog whistle. I don't think Trump does dog whistles. Hey, he just says, that's part of the thing with Trump. He just says it. He says what he thinks. Isn't that what he does? So I think anyone who's saying that Donald Trump was using the dog whistle to tell people in Mississippi don't vote for Mike Espy because he's black, I think anybody in media who's saying that, I think they're full of it. Because Trump went down a list of things that Mike Espy, he says that Mike Espy believes in. I don't even know if Mike Espy believes in them. And says that doesn't fit into Mississippi because Mississippi is a very red state. And it's a very pro-life state, a very pro-gun state, right? And Mike Espy is not those things. Okay, so save all the rest. Like, I got no problem calling Trump out for stuff, but I'm not going to make up stuff to call him out for. He'll give me something tomorrow, but I'm not going to make up something just because it makes people feel good or just because it gets your rocks off. That's not what I'm doing. I think that it's a disservice to viewers when you just lie. And I think that's what they're doing. I don't think that's what Trump meant. Like, maybe people could misinterpret it, but I don't think you're misinterpreting it. I think you're saying that Trump said or used a racist dog whistle just because it's good for your viewership. That's what I think. All right. Now, all that being said, guys, I got a feeling that Cindy Hyde-Smith is going to win. Yeah, I think she's going to win because I believe Republicans want to win more than they want to give a damn about what she said at a rally. Okay? That's what I think. I think they care more about winning. I think she shouldn't win. I think someone who's dumb enough to make a statement about lynching or public hanging in the state where most people were publicly hanged is probably somebody who's not smart enough to be your senator. The only saving grace was Cindy Hyde-Smith, who is probably going to win by at least 10 points. Last time I checked, she was up by 12 points. Is that it's only going to be for 2 years. Like I said before, Cindy Hyde-Smith was only put in place because the senator had to retire due to medical condition. Okay, so all this talk, all of this noise about Mississippi, we'll see. I think a candidate, another candidate will probably beat her in 2 years, but I think this is what Mississippi wants: a Republican, not necessarily one that's dumb enough to talk about public lynching or public hangings. Give it up for that. All right, guys. That's what I think. It's pretty stupid, all right? But let's see. Now we got a couple other stories I want to get to before we're done, guys. I want to thank everybody who stayed here with me. Thanks for tuning in, man. I'm really fighting. I'm fighting a cold. I got all this stuff going on. But, hey, man, I haven't done a show in a couple days, in 4 days, so I had to come back. I don't have to be 100%. I got to come back, though. All right? Let's just change this up. Check this out, guys. Now, the Mueller investigation is still underway, right? And Manafort, right? There's been a lot of noise about Manafort. And there was an article released by The Guardian that said that Manafort met with Julian Assange of WikiLeaks. All right. Check this out, guys. I understand that they're doing everything they can to try to tie Donald Trump to Russia. I get that. I don't think they're going to do it. Heck, I don't even believe they're going to ever release a report to show you where millions and millions and millions of your taxpayer money went during this investigation. I mean, Manafort's not even, he's not even caught up, him or Papadopoulos are not being charged with anything that they did while they worked for Trump. Like, any of them, none of them, none of the people that are charged, any of that has anything to do, any of the charges, none of the charges have anything to do with Donald Trump's campaign. And that was the purpose of the investigation. And now what you're trying to tell me is now you want to tie now they want to tie WikiLeaks in with Donald Trump. WikiLeaks says they bet $1 million that Manafort never met with Julian Assange. I don't know where The Guardian got this information. I don't know why The Guardian printed that without corroborating evidence. I don't understand it. But I do understand what sells papers. I do understand what sells elections. I do get that. And what I think is this Russia investigation, for the most part, has been a way to detract or deflect blame and to have something to hit Trump on. That's what I believe it's been since the beginning, okay? The Mueller investigation, 2017 meeting between Manafort and Ecuador's president. Now, Robert Mueller's team has been investigating a meeting between former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort and the Ecuadorian president, Lenin Moreno, in 2017. They specifically asked if WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange was discussed in the meeting. Says a source with personal information or personal knowledge of the matter. So I don't understand where that comes from. I don't understand how you corroborate that. But I do understand that at the end of the day, Julian Assange is a journalist. WikiLeaks is a journalist organization. Whether you like what they publish or not, it is for the public good. You know, the worst thing about Julian Assange and the treatment from the U.S. is that we have this thing in the U.S. where we act as if it's in our culture that people who fight the good fight, people that put themselves on the line, that those people are rewarded and they're just seen as heroes. And I believe that Julian Assange embodies that. You know, unfortunately, we don't treat him like a hero. Instead, we treat him like a villain. We did the same thing with Edward Snowden. We did the same thing with Chelsea Manning. We did the same thing with Jeffrey Sterling. We keep treating people who put themselves on the line as if they are the villains. And I think that's a shame. This Russia investigation, I'm glad it's coming to an end. I'm also noticing that people on CNN are starting to change their language. They're starting to admit, folks, that there will be no indictment of Donald Trump. They're starting to admit that there will be no smoking gun on Donald Trump. It's as we've been saying, or I've been saying for the last couple of years, guys. They don't have him on anything. If the worst that they could do, or the best that they could do, is find some business deal he did way before he even thought about becoming president, way before his campaign, or something with taxes, or some type of dealing as a businessman before he started running. That's the same thing they've been finding on Manafort and many others. But that's not what the investigation was supposed to uncover. That's not why you launched it, and that's not why Americans let you run up the bill to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars in years. And not to mention playing with the emotions of American viewers. How many American viewers watch this crap day in and day out, all absorbed, thinking that their president will be impeached, thinking that Russia was taking over the country, just to find out at the end of the day there will be no evidence of that. The only evidence that you're going to get, America, is that you have a corporate media whose job is to do what? Get paid. That we have 5 companies that runs 90% of your media. And you can thank Bill Clinton for that, because back in 1996 in the Telecommunications Act, he made it so that big corporations with the most money could buy up all the news stations, all the radio stations, all the cable networks. See, before Clinton signed that, there was a limit that one company could own. That kept it so that things could be more competitive, that there could be multiple voices on your cable news networks. That was Bill Clinton that deregulated the telecommunications in the United States. The Russia investigation is not going to bring forth what the resistance thinks is going to bring forth. It just ain't. You've been played. You've been bamboozled. You've been hoodwinked. You've been run amok. You've been led astray. It is what it is. All right, guys. Oh, now this is funny. This is funny, guys. This is Donald Trump says America needs its own state-run TV show or TV network, a news network, its own news, state-run news. Like RT America is run by the Kremlin, Moscow. All right? So that's what Donald Trump says is missing from the U.S. The U.S. needs its own news entity. Somebody tell Trump you already got Fox News. Come on, man, you already got Fox. That's what they do. For Republican presidents. And then for Democratic presidents, there's CNN and MSNBC and ABC and CBS and PBS and everybody else. President Trump on Monday suggested the government start its own television network as he voiced frustration with the way that CNN in particular has covered his administration. He said, throughout the world, CNN has become a powerful voice portraying the United States in an unfair and false way. Something has to be done, including the possibility of the U.S. Starting its own worldwide network to show the world the way we really are. Great. All right, guys. That's hilarious. But I want you to know this. Tomorrow I have an article coming out and a video. And in that article and that video, it's about the Georgia race, about Stacey Abrams, and the real reason why she lost the governor's race in Georgia. Oh man, this is coming out. This is big stuff, guys. This is big stuff. So I want you to know tomorrow that video's coming out and that article's coming out, and I want you definitely to share it when you see it. But during my investigation to put together this great video, right, this in-depth video and this in-depth article, I discovered that Trump's not lying about news coverage. In this, I don't want to give it all away, but let me just say this. Donald Trump has received more negative coverage than any of the last presidents in the last 40 years. At least the last 40 years, all right? Donald Trump has received the most negative coverage. It's almost 2 to 3 times more negative coverage than Obama or Clinton or Bush. And Bush took us to an illegal war. And Obama took us to more wars. And Clinton got impeached. You can't make this up, baby. You can't make this up. I'm serious. So anyway, please. Tomorrow when I put out that article and that video, definitely want you to share it when it comes out, all right? All right. I got this last segment, guys. That's funny to me, man. I don't know. That is funny to me. That's funny to me. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. That's funny. You should laugh at that. That was funny. Oh, hold on. Here it is. Where's it at? Where's my thing at here? There's the, I don't know where it is. Oh, hell. I don't know where this thing, oh, here we go. This is a segment I like to call, you just gotta do better. You just gotta do better. You just gotta do better, right? Where's my song for that? Do I still have a song for that? That's it. You just gotta do better, y'all. You just gotta do better. All right, so on we just got to do better. In my neck of the woods here near Washington D.C., right? There was a horrifying thing that happened. In fact, when it happened, I thought it was real. I didn't know there was a shooting at Walter Reed Medical Center. Okay, an active shooter. That was the news that came out across the airwaves, and everybody was very concerned. All right, active shooter scared Walter Reed. Actually turned out to be a drill. Yeah, see, Walter Reed is not just a place where people go to get their teeth fixed or, to pick up orthopedic shoes. Walter Reed is where wounded veterans go to seek treatment. There are veterans at Walter Reed who are missing limbs, who need assistance. Dire assistance, right? Some of the worst cases of injuries and traumatic injuries are in Walter Reed Medical Center. And somehow some dumbass hit the wrong switch. And what was supposed to be a drill was thought to be real. Now, none of the staff knew it was a drill, and none of the people, none of the patients knew it was a drill. And they all had to run out into the parking lot It was mayhem. It was unnecessary. It was incompetence. It was a failure, a breakdown of so much. So all I want to say is that if your job is to hit the button that says this is a trial or this is a test, this is only a test, and if your ass can't hit the button that says that, and that's all you got to do, then your ass you do not need a job. You should not have a job if you can't hit that button, and that's all your job is to do, is to hit the button that says test. All right? Come on, y'all. Listen to this. It says, around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, SWAT teams responded to the reports of an active shooter at Walter Reed Medical Center. This is where American servicemen and women recovering from their wounds are treated. Among those who took the shelter were an amputee and a veteran suffering from a traumatic brain injury. One of them told CBS News patients were loaded into wheelchairs, some holding crutches over their heads. Those who could walk were hastily pushing wheelchairs. There was fear. Some guys grabbed baseball bats or whatever there was laying around to defend themselves. People were silent and sitting in the dark. Anyway. Representative Dutch Ruppensberger was at the scene. He said, "We were told there was an active shooter." He tweeted out, "We are sitting alone in the dark now, fearing for our lives." All right, guys. All right. That's all I'm saying is if that's your job, just do your damn job, man. Do your job. If your job, people missing limbs, rushing out to a parking lot for no dumb reason because somebody don't know how to. That's all I'm saying. I just don't think people who don't who don't do their job should have a job. All right, anyway, guys, that's it. That's all I got for tonight. I want to appreciate everybody for stopping by. I hope that you become members of the show. I see you tomorrow, guys. YouTube, become a member on my YouTube, Tim Black's Wolf Pack. That's the wolf in the back over here. Become a member of the Wolf Pack, and I'll keep you up to date with all the issues. I don't know what happened in Mississippi. Like I said, I believe there's no reason to think that Cindy Hyde-Smith did not win, but, stranger things have happened. We saw what happened in Alabama with Roy Moore. I think, once again, that if you don't want health care for the people in your state, not to mention, do you know that Mississippi has the worst, the most unhealthy people in the state of Mississippi in the country, right? That's what a study found. Like, the most unhealthy people live in Mississippi. They need health care the most. And cutting Obamacare is not going to help those people. It may help some people save money that they don't have to have insurance, but that's not going to mean they're going to be more healthy. So that should be the focus, not just of a senator, but of their governor. Phil Bryant is the governor. He's a horrible piece of work, too. So I just think they got a lot of problems in Mississippi. I don't know if they want to change them this week, but we'll see. That's it, guys. I'll see you on the next one. Shout out to everybody who sent me love and support, and thank yous and congratulations on the birth of my baby girl, Nalani. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Tim Black. Tim Black. Tim Black. Yes, I am. True. Funny. Tim Black. I am TimBlack.com.